Welcome, welcome. I'm Sophia from Shaggy Forever, and today's video is going to be overrated products that I tried in 2023. Most of these came out in 2023. One way or another, they took TikTok by storm in 2023, and I didn't necessarily love them. So let's get into it. Let's start with one that might be a little bit controversial because everybody and their mother seems to be loving it. It is the Givenchy Prisme Libre uh, powder. What is the full name of you? Matte finish and enhanced radiance loose powder in Voile Rosé, and it's not it's not as good as people say it is. First of all, this is my issue with it. There is no way to separate these four powders that are in here, which means that if I'm putting this under my eyes, like right here, I might get this like uber pink shade, and there's no way for me to stop this one from coming out. Now, let me show you what my biggest issue is with this. It is the fact that this shade right here is so pigmented that I can actually use this as a blush on my face. And just so you know, I am fair with neutral undertones. I know that this is going to work differently for people of deeper skin tones than mine. And that's basically the entire spectrum at this point because I am almost as fair as you can get. But that is my issue with this shade. If there was a way to stop, stopper this powder, this shade, or any shades that don't work for you, and then use the others, I think this would be a far better user experience. And for a product that costs so much money, I really think that Givenchy should be able to manage that, like, you know, like stoppers or like little windows that you can open up. I think that could be something that they should think about. Additionally, with this powder, I found that it was a little bit drying under my eyes and enhanced any lines I have, but also created more. I looked more aged than I do with anything else. So this was not my favorite powder. I might use this all over the face, and then if they have a lighter one, maybe get that. But in this case, TikTok lied to us, at least to me. Now, what am I going to do with this powder that I poured out? I guess I'm going to have to use it all over my face at some point later. The next product, the reason I don't like it might be a reason you do like it, and it is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil. I have in the shade Barely Blushing, and my issue with this is that it is a very, first of all, it looks beautiful in the pan. It really does. I just wish it translated quite like that onto the cheeks, but it is so light. It is so, I mean, it basically blends out into nothingness. If I like blend it a little bit more, and I have like two layers there, you can barely see it. And I am fair with neutral undertones. If you can barely see it on me, and I am completely untanned right now, you're not going to be able to see it on anybody else. And he came out with four shades, and yes, those shades, you know, ran the gamut from like the lighter one to, I think there was like a berry shade one. But here's the problem. These blend away so easily that you essentially don't have anything left over. I've barely used it, mainly because after I bought it, I tried it a few times, and I don't love it. Now, here's my thing. I think that this might be something that I'm going to concentrate on in 2024 to see if there's a way that I could use it, because the bronzer version of it, I can't remember the full name of it, I initially didn't love, but then after using it throughout this year, I did notice that it made my skin look really great and look glowy and lovely. And that's fine, but I don't want my bronzer to look very like distinct. I do want my blush to show though, so I'm gonna give it a go and see if this, you know, works better for me. But as it stands right now, I think that these were overhyped and overrated. Now the next item is drugstore, and yes, there are some drugstore products peppered in here, and it is the NYX Fat Lip Drip Oil. And I don't love this product. I don't find it particularly hydrating. I don't find it to be a lip oil in any way, sense or form, or shape or form, whatever you want to call it. And the shade wasn't particularly nice. And the problem was I had such a hard time getting the product out, even when it was brand new, that I actually took the stopper out. Yeah, it's just, it's looking a little bit, a lot, but you're never going to get so much product on your wand unless you remove the stopper as well. But I had the hardest time using this. This is like, it's like a lip gloss, but I would never repurchase that lip gloss. As a lip oil, it's just not it. There's another one at the drugstore that I love more than this, and I think this is like, what, $12 or something, or $10, maybe around me in New York. It's just that expensive, but overall, this one is a complete fail for me. I know that some people love it. Great, more for you. I don't. So the next product is not a bad product. I think it's just overhyped, and it is the Cali Ray Surf Proof Setting Spray. Now, I got this in a set, so the bottle might look a little bit different. I think this is like half size. But as good as this is, and it is good, it is not quite what people were saying it is. Like, it's not so great that I'm going to give up my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush setting spray for it. If anything, I'm glad to have two large bottles of that, one already open and a small one waiting. There's a set right now. So this set, the same set that I bought this in, it's now $22. And I was thinking about it, it's okay. I don't really feel the need to buy that set in order to get my hands on this again. And I feel like that says a lot. Now, I haven't gone surfing with this, and maybe, it's great for that. Maybe it's waterproof and I just don't know. But it hasn't done anything more for me that the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray hasn't, or that the Charlotte Tilbury one hasn't, or even me going without setting spray hasn't. Like, I just haven't found anything amazing about this as of now. It's okay. It's okay. But you know what? I will go skiing with this and I will let you know how that goes. There we go. The next one is this Rare Beauty highlighter. I have it in the shade Mesmerize, and it is a very pretty highlighter. It is definitely very blingy, but I find that it doesn't melt into the skin quite like what people were saying. It is definitely blinky. I mean, you're going to see it from afar. Now, the formula is very smooth. It's very soft. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sure you can see it. There we go. It is a lovely product. I just don't think that it was deservedly hyped, in that I think it was overhyped. Definitely overhyped. It's pretty. I have it. I do like it. I will keep using it. I do wish I'd purchased it in the whiter or the champagne shade. I think the enchanted shade that's sold out right now. And I probably will, just for the sake of having that one as well. But it's okay. It's an okay product. It's a lovely formula, but it's very blingy and it doesn't melt into the skin quite like what people were saying. The next product is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wands. I have it in the shade Pillow Talk. At some point, I had them all, and they were very disappointing. They were patchy. The two lightest shades, I think the peach and the pink, were basically the same shade once applied to the face. The red one was obviously not meant for my skin tone. It was definitely very, very pigmented, and it was meant for deeper skin tones, in my opinion, so that it would, show up a lot more and is a vibrant pop. And so I'm not talking about that specific one. I am talking about the two lighter ones and this one. The shade is nice. Let me show you. I'm actually going to swatch it. The shade is actually nice, but these tend to be a little patchy when applied. So it's okay, but definitely a little bit more patchy. I don't think its wear time is as great as it should be for something that costs so much. I believe these were like $42 each or something around there. Very, very expensive. I kept this one because at the time that I got it, this shade was only available on the Charlotte Tilbury website. So I wanted to have this in my collection, but it seems that now it's available everywhere. But overall, I think it was overhyped. So the next product is the Say Beauty Glowy Super Gel in Star Glow. Now, this is their half size, but I've had two of these at the beginning of the year. There was a For a Favorite set last year that had these, and I bought two because I wanted their Charlotte Tilbury setting spray that I love so much, and that was in there, so it was a great deal. So I wound up getting my hands on two of these in this size. They do sell this in this size. This is 15 milliliters, so this is half size. So at this point, I've tried this enough to have basically covered a full bottle of this, and I still don't like it. I didn't like it at the beginning of this year, and I don't like it now. And I gave this a true go in the last week or two because I really wanted to form my opinion, and I wanted to get this out of my collection. This is in my 100 items I want to use up in 2024, and guess what? I already used it up. But my issue with this is that after I'm done with my skincare routine, after I've put on my moisturizer and I've put on my sunscreen, this adds absolutely nothing. Nothing. It looks exactly the same. And so as a result, I find this to be a waste of money. These are not cheap. I believe they're like I think this size is like $15 or something. I don't remember, but I know that the big size is expensive as well. This is not just overhyped, but a good product. This is not even a good product in my opinion. This was not something I would get ever again. So the next item is a mascara, and it is the waterproof version of the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I do like the packaging, by the way. I like that it's in blue, so you know that it's waterproof. But my issue with this is A, it doesn't enhance my eyelashes enough for it to be worth the trouble that this is to remove. Nothing removes this. It is so difficult to remove that no micellar water, no cleansing balms, no dedicated, really highly reviewed, and has worked on everything else in my life. Eye makeup removers can take this off fully. They can't. So I'm there rubbing at my eyes. First of all, I'm losing my eyelashes. I barely have any of them. I really don't want to lose them. But on top of that, then I have these raccoon eyes, and it's like I'm just rubbing. I'm getting older. I don't have the time, the energy, or the desire to spend that much time and energy in removing a mascara. There are other mascaras that I love that I'm able to remove just with regular makeup remover. So this one is not a favorite for me. Now, I understand that this is just me. If your eyes water a lot, or you're going swimming a lot, or I don't know, maybe you work in just incredibly wet circumstances, or it just maybe that will work. But for me, this did not work because it was impossible to remove, and I am not going to be dealing with that. So next two items are concealers. And the first one of those is the Dior Backstage Flash Perfector Concealer. So I have a few issues with this one. First of all, finding my shade match was basically impossible. This oxidizes, which is not great. But I finally found my shade, which is great, so I'm very happy. But then it's a very thick product, and then so it settles under my eyes. I mean, it will find lines under my eyes as if it's homing in on a target. I barely have any lines under my eyes, and somehow this figures out where they are, and then it just settles it burrows in. So I don't love this for under my eyes. I don't know why people love it. Honestly, maybe if you have very dry under eyes, this will be great because it is a little bit thicker in consistency. But as it stands right now, it's not my favorite. I will use it on the rest of my face because I do want to get some use out of it. It is $29 for 11 milliliters, but still $29 is what I paid for it. And at least I think that was $29. Whatever it was expensive, and I'm going to try and get some use on it. But as it stands right now, I'm not a favorite. Now, with the Dior concealer, I at least understand why it might settle in my under eye lines because it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit cushionier. I get it. Shouldn't do it for the price, but it does. But this one I don't understand, and it is so overhyped because people keep loving it, and I don't know why. Because this is a Tarte 28 Serum Concealer. For Serum Concealer, I don't know how it finds a way to dig deep into my fine lines. They're so prominent. Nothing else makes them look this prominent. Maybe the Dior one, but between these two, I don't know why I keep using them. Because let me tell you something. A thick concealer that I have that doesn't do it is I can't believe I'm going to be showing it, but I'm going to, is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. Now, this is a thick, thick boy. And if anything settles, it should be that. But it doesn't. This one, though, super thin, does. So I think I'm going to keep using it, keep giving it a go. I'm going to use it all over my face to spot conceal. If by like springtime I don't love it, I'm probably going to declutter it and maybe give it to somebody, maybe just toss it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but as it stands right now, I think it's overhyped. And the last item, it's not an item, it's a whole genre that I think is overrated, is Arab perfume. So I have a few. This one is Bade Al Oud by Latafa. Maybe it's called Amethyst. What is your actual name? It's an eau de parfum, and this is very strong. This is very masculine, which is fine, you know, masculine. Maybe my boyfriend will like it, we'll see. But as it stands, it is very one note. I'm not getting any complexity out of it. I'm not getting any, lightness out of it. It's honestly, It's very heavy and it honestly reminds me of an older Eastern European man from like 1980s and 1990s. So that's not a favorite of mine. Now, the other three that I have, they are all from the same company. They're all from the same brand and they've got like beautiful packaging. And this brand is called Swiss Arabian. Now, this one is a Mali and it is very pretty in bottle. These are oils. I'll show you the other two and they come with a wand. It's very pretty. This one is this one smells like baby powder, and that is basically all I smell. And when I put it on my body, it just, the heat does not make it, I just smell like baby powder. You know, I smell like a baby. It's not how I want to smell. Now, this one, gorgeous packaging. Honestly, literally keeping this just for the packaging, nothing else. And this one smells like ugh, Jolly Rancher. That's exactly what it smells like. I think, yep, Jolly Rancher, nothing else. And this final one looks like this. This one is called Eulalie. By the way, this one was called Layali Rouge, and I will link these below just in case you're interested in them. You know, just in case these scent descriptions were exactly what you wanted. These links will be affiliate links. Thank you very much for using them. I do appreciate it. They do support the channel. But moving on, so this one, as I said, this is Eulalie, and this one is the more complex of them, and still not very complex in my opinion. Smells a little bit sweet, a little floral. This one has the best scent in the bottle, but not on my body. None of them smell very good on me. So in my opinion, these are overhyped only because they're a lot stronger than you'd imagine, than people say they are. They're very, very strong. All of them are very, very strong. Even the more feminine ones are just very strong on the body, which might be good, might not be, depends on what you like, especially if you're surrounded by people who might have scent sensitivities. You might want to be careful with that. In my opinion, these Arab fragrances, they can be good. It just depends on what you like, what you're willing to spend, and how strong you want your fragrance to be. Like, these are gonna be strong. They're meant to be strong, and you have to be mindful of that. They're not going to be any airy, light fragrances, at least not the ones that I tried. Even the more feminine ones weren't that. Maybe there are other brands out there that I just have not come across. But you know what? Across these 4 fragrances, I spent like $120 or maybe $140. So for that price, I could have gotten a bottle of a fragrance that I really wanted. Now I'm using none of them, not a single one. So I want you to take that into account when you're buying them. Not everything is going to be a great purchase. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.